Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So I was getting a lot of comments in the comments section, and yesterday afternoon's video, everybody was trying to do the same thing with their Alexa, asking their Alexa about the financial monetary system, and I was getting mixed results. So it sounds as though the algorithm is changing it up, I guess, for different people. And I guess it depends on how you use your Alexa. I don't personally have one, so I cannot confirm nor deny this. One person said they got the exact same result. A few other people said it brought them to a Wikipedia page about the financial monetary system. One guy even said that his Alexa turned off when my video was playing. So, I'm just reporting to you guys what other people have noticed. But just getting back to the cryptocurrency market, guys, take a look at that. It looks like the market is taking a bit of a dive. Bitcoin's back down to $21,500. We were holding up fairly well for the last little while, and now Bitcoin's taking a bit of a dive, although if we look very closely, we are still actually making higher lows here. So Bitcoin has not gone down past this former low that we saw here back on July the 26th. That would have been at $20,700 per BTC. So we are actually still ranging upwards. It's looking as though the trend is still moving to the upside. I guess we have to keep our eyes on this, see if this does go any lower. Just bringing up XRP real quickly here, you guys can see. Let me just take that off here. XRP trading right now at 0.336, and it's doing the same. A significant move down after this slow grind to the upside. So, I guess the question is, are we moving higher? Are we moving lower? Justin Bennett here posting this. Here's one sign, or four, that Bitcoin has not bottomed yet. Measured objective from left to right, okay? Number one, percentage objective of the double top is $13,500. So just bringing up Bitcoin again real quickly here. 13,005. He's talking about a measure move from that top would bring us back down to this level of resistance here from mid 2019. He says January to May bear flag points to $12,000 for a Bitcoin. Number three, May-June flags point to a $9,500 for Bitcoin. And June to current, that flag points to a $10,000 for a Bitcoin. So whether it goes down to 13,500, 12,000, 9,500, or 10,000, Bitcoin has lower to go, in my opinion. Now, this again, according to Justin Bennett. Kaleo here on Twitter also got excited when he saw his prediction come to fruition, got overzealous on Friday, expecting continuation to 28,000 through the weekend into early this week. Now, this tweet was originally posted on August the 15th. He goes on to say, I admit when I'm wrong, and while I don't believe we're going to see a capitulation to new lows and break beneath 20,000, a bit lower before a bit higher makes sense. Now, he posted this again 4 days ago. This is what the chart was looking like then, and here is what it is looking like now. Let me just zoom in on that. We have here, let me show that again. Here's what it was looking like then. He was projecting a retest down to this zone. Now look at where we are. We are actually retesting that zone there. Kaleo goes on with this thread, and he kept adding on to it throughout the week. You guys can see some more posts August 16th, August 17th. And then just from a few hours ago, guys, I will link this thread in the description. And bang, there it is, filled down to 21,002 on the wick. Now time for the moment of truth, consolidation in this $21,000 to $22,000 range for a bit, then bounce back to new highs. So that's what he had been projecting for a while now. The retest here, retest top of mid-June range, fill the volume gap. And so apparently now we're expected to see new highs. I guess we're seeing a bit of a crypto meltdown because of some global crypto news. Now, here is the first piece of news. Crypto Whale posted this. South Korea's Financial Services Commission has blocked 16 foreign crypto exchanges for violating the Specific Financial Information Act. And the list of exchanges are as such: MEXC, KuCoin, CoinW, CoinX, BitGlobal, BitTrue, Poloniex, BTCX, FemX, Pionex, BTCC, DigiFinex, and more. So a big crackdown in Korea. They said that the 16 foreign-based VASPs were found to have business operations targeting Koreans without obtaining a registration, despite notifying them in July last year about their obligation to register with the authority. The KO-FIU, which is the, I guess it's the body, the organization, it's the Korea Financial Intelligence Unit in Korea. They requested the Korean Communications Commission and the Korea Communications Standard Commission to block domestic access to these websites of the unregistered VASPs. Transfers of virtual assets to and from the 16 unregistered entities will be blocked following an administrative guidance suspending transactions between the registered and unregistered entities. Credit card companies will inspect and block credit card-based virtual asset purchases and payment services offered by them to disable their use in the domestic market. And so Co-FIU, they said that for illegal business activities for unregistered entities, the punishment can be up to a maximum of 5 years in prison or a fine of about $37,668 US. I think I'd take the fine. With restriction imposed from registering a VASP in the domestic market for a certain period of time. So this is what's happening in Korea right now. Some negative crypto news now. I mean, I'm not sure if this is affecting the market as a whole. Let's not forget the other day we also did get news of this in Canada. And so now here's two countries cracking down at the same time. So it does get me wondering if this is having a bit of a ripple effect in the crypto market. I mean, the market really isn't in dire straits right now, but even a small move like this could have been impacted by some of this global news that we're getting, like in Canada. New regulatory changes in Canada for crypto. You are allowed to buy as much BTC, ETH, LTC, and BCH as you want, but any other crypto has a limit of $30,000 net buy per year. This coming from Mo Chains here, and he posted this. Now, I've been seeing this circulating around Twitter over the last 24 hours. And this is for all the Canadians watching this channel. Guys, this actually is not true. Okay, it is in some cases for certain exchanges, and there's a reason for that. So Ontario crypto exchanges impose a $30,000 Canadian annual limit on altcoin buys. And they go on to say Canadian-based crypto exchanges BitBuy and Newton, so just these two exchanges specifically, are enforcing a $30,000 Canadian annual buy limit for restricted coins for their users based in Ontario in order to protect consumers amid tightening regulations. Newton, a Toronto-based crypto exchange, announced the new changes came after working on getting registered with the Ontario Securities Commission and the securities regulator authorities in other provinces and territories of Canada, noting on Tuesday, these changes are to protect crypto investors like yourself and to make sure investors are aware of the risks associated with investing in cryptocurrencies. Under the new changes, Ontario-based crypto traders Newton and other Canadian crypto platforms will be subject to an annual $30,000 net limit buy on all cryptocurrency coins, excluding the ones that I mentioned at the top. Newton further clarified that if a trader bought and then sold a restricted coin, the sell amount would be subtracted from the limit. The limit resets every 12 months from the first purchase of restricted coins. Now, on the surface, what does this sound like? This sounds like the Ontario Securities Commission is cracking down. And I mean, if you take a look at this list, it's not just residents of Ontario that this would affect. It would be New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Nunavut, the Northwest Territories, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. And the provinces that are not affected, Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Quebec. But if you do a little bit more research, you will realize that this is actually a little misleading. This was brought to my attention by Dawdler for XRP, okay? Jacob Robinson. He's a Canadian lawyer, and he wanted to just kind of clarify this. I wanted to clarify the recent update regarding the purchase limits and how they impact clients of certain crypto exchanges. So the idea that if you live in Ontario, you're limited to purchases worth $30,000 is patently false in more ways than one. These limits add friction to the purchase, if anything. No, this is not legal or investment advice. Here is what is happening. 2 days ago, the Canadian Securities Administrators began requiring exchanges that operate in Canada to provide a pre-registration undertaking to their principal regulator, while the exchange takes steps to comply with applicable securities legislation. Platforms that decline to provide the undertaking and continue to service Canadians can face enforcement action. Unlike the American model, Canadian securities regulation is a provincial matter, so each of the 13 provinces and territories have their own jurisdiction around this. To improve efficiency, regulators from each province and territory joined to create CSA. Think of CSA as the American SEC staffed with regulators from each state. Some aspects of securities laws remain within the jurisdiction of the individual provinces, as you'll see, while others fit under the discretion of the CSA. Now to the situation at hand. If they wish to continue operations, the CSA is requiring crypto exchanges across Canada to provide an undertaking to their principal regulator. So their principal regulator is going to reside in their own province or territory. This undertaking should spell out certain terms and conditions the exchanges will abide by while their registration is underway. The undertaking remains in effect until their application is approved. So these exchanges have to go to their regulators. They have to apply under certain terms to be a registered exchange in Canada. And as those papers are going through, right, until they are finally approved, they have to put a limit on altcoins. They don't have to put a limit on the coins that obviously have clarity in the country of Canada, but for all those other coins that don't have clarity, they have to put a limit on it, and that's what they're doing. So it's not just a full sweep of all altcoins. All Canadians have to, are only limited to a $30,000 limit. It's just for certain exchanges that have not gone through the rigmarole yet. Jacob Robinson says the first two undertakings from Crypto.com and CoinSquare to the Ontario Securities Commission are publicly available on the OSC's website. Here's what one looks like, and then he gives an example of that. These undertakings prescribe similar terms and conditions that currently apply to the 9 exchanges already registered with the CSA. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the rest of this, but if you guys are interested, I will link this in the description. So, are we seeing a bit of a meltdown because we are getting some news around the world that could be affecting the crypto market? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're getting enough news to really move the needle. I think this is just regular ebb and flow. Again, even just from yesterday, we have seen the price of Bitcoin go down about 7%, which is not really a lot when you're taking a look at crypto compared to other assets. I gotta say, though, things are looking optimistic. This from Ashley Prosper. I'm excited for this new day. Tom Emmer was just interviewed on Tony Edwards' Thinking Crypto podcast, and he said some pretty uplifting things with regards to the SEC. It's about time the SEC was reined in. In fact, it's past time. This coming from Ashley Prosper. Here's what Tom Emmer said on the Thinking Crypto podcast. Listen to this.
Talk a bit about the midterm elections, and it looks like Republicans are going to win. What does that mean for the oversight of the SEC?
Well, it's going to change dramatically. As I said earlier, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, even though crypto, to me, and the entire area of digital assets is not a Republican or a Democrat thing. I mean, I don't care if you're my colleague from California, Representative Khanna, who he and I, if you put us on a continuum of, here's the far right, here's the far left, he and I would not match up at all when it comes to our policy perspectives of what government should be and what it should be doing. When it comes to this issue, it's not about his political perspective or Tom Emmer's. It's something totally different. Now, that being said, the Democrats are currently in charge of Congress. They are the ones with the gavels and the subpoena authority, and they have not been holding bureaucrats like Gary Gensler accountable for his behavior. So I think what you will see, assuming that what we're seeing is accurate, that there will be a new day coming and that Republicans will take back control of the House and perhaps the Senate as well. You will see aggressive congressional oversight because that's only going to strengthen our system of government, right? Bureaucrats like Gary Gensler do not make the laws. Unelected bureaucrats, regulators don't get to politicize the rules of the road or hold the keys to opportunity. And assuming Republicans win the House in the midterms in November, we will then have the subpoena power, which will force the SEC and Gary Gensler to comply with the requests in our letters. And we've sent several of them already, but it will give us the tools to hold him accountable. A more aggressive oversight of our regulators will keep Biden's regulators in check to ensure they're working toward a stronger, better future for the United States, one that's actually filled with more opportunities for Americans, not fewer, which unfortunately, Tony, I think the behavior of Gary Gensler and some others, Rohit Chopra, I'm going to call him, and others, the guy at the FDIC, they've been limiting opportunities, especially in this fastest growing area, exciting area involving digital assets.
Boom goes the dynamite. A new day is coming. This coming from Tom Emmer. Of course, there are the elections in November. And he says guys like Gary Gensler, they are not elected to make these decisions, and Republicans will hold him accountable once the Republicans take over Congress. So is this going to be that pivotal moment where we see the United States kind of fall more in line with what the rest of the world is doing in regards to crypto regulation and, more importantly, crypto adoption? Now, let's not forget, Mark Carney, in an interview with Bloomberg, said this a few years ago. He was the former governor of the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada, okay? He's a Canadian English citizen, has experience working at both central banks. Both central banks, Canada and England, have run pilots with Ripple and XRP. The one in Canada has run pilots, and I believe they do have a partnership with Ripple. I know that they did it was one of the projects that they did with the Monetary Authority of Singapore to test cross-border transfers via XRP. And of course, the Bank of England, well, we know what their story is. Very proud to be a RippleNet partner. We know also in England, the equivalent body to FinCEN in the US has classified XRP a currency. And so, all those things considered, also, let's not forget Mark Carney is a member of the World Economic Forum. All those things considered, let's take that context while listening to what Mark Carney says here.
And so the challenge for payment systems is to move in that direction so we can instantaneously move money from my account to your account to the publican's account, the guy who runs the pub, directly. And what we're doing at the Bank of England is we're reorganizing the core of the system in a way that allows new payment providers to just plug in. They could be using distributed ledger technology. They can use other technologies. And we're in a position where these innovative so-called PSPs will be able to provide those types of services.
Innovative PSPs to provide those types of services. Now, there were some screen grabs from some articles that were flashing up on the screen while he was speaking here. I just wanted to go over those real quick. Ripple selected to participate in the Bank of England FinTech Accelerator Program. This was back from March of 2017. Also, the Bank of England appoints Accenture as the technology delivery partner for real-time gross settlement service renewal program. As we know, Accenture is partnered with Ripple. Payments platform Ripple did ink a deal with Accenture back in 2015, so just to confirm that. Now we got Mark Carney here, continuing.
Types of services. You're seeing similar innovation amongst banks in the U.S., other places, and so this is coming. The best of the financial institutions can see the direction of where the payment system is going to go. In a market,
means making a lot less money.
A lot less money from payment system, maybe more money from understanding their customers better, more money from from providing other core banking services. But
okay, I'm just going to stop it there. Notice how Mark Carney talks about the banking sector and how the incumbent banking sector, I mean the legacy banks, the private banks, they are going to lose revenue with this new, faster system, more efficient system for providing cross-border payments. Of course, Ripple's involved with the central bank at the central bank level. So how are these incumbent private banks, the legacy system, how are they going to continue to generate revenue? Well, it's not going to be off the fees. It's not going to be off of like leasing tied up capital to the smaller tier 2 or tier 3 banks. They're going to have to find a new method, and I think because crypto adoption is becoming so prominent, we are going to see new models for these types of banks. I mean, it's been almost like this war in the United States specifically. Gary Gensler protecting his banking buddies, bringing down the hammer, and continuing this ridiculous lawsuit with Ripple and XRP in court. But guys, a new day is coming as per Tom Emmer. I think we should be getting really excited and geared up and really think seriously about purchasing more digital assets as the market tumbles. A great opportunity to buy, guys, not financial advice. But I'm thinking if this goes down further, I'm going to continue to add more to my stacks. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.